Hello dear friends, welcome! My name is August, this is Cozy Rosy Reads, and today we are going to be doing the December TBR Jar challenge. I'm so excited. My bookcases are actually overflowing right now with the amazing books I have on my TBR shelves, and I've also added a pile kind of in the corner here of some classics that I pulled from my classic literature shelf because I just really am craving classics in the winter time. If you are new here, every month I have a TBR Jar challenge. This is filled with all these prompts and challenges to help me pick what books I'm going to be reading each month. So each month I pick 10 prompts, and those are the 10 books that I get to choose from to read from. That's a lot of froms in the month of December. I'm so excited. Like, winter literature and the books I read in winter tend to be my favorites. I don't know why. I think it's just the atmosphere and the mood and the weather and actually having downtime to read. Like, it's just a very normal thing for me to like fall in love with the books that I read in winter. So I'm so excited to find out what I'm going to be reading this winter. And what makes it extra special is that in December, I am going to be traveling for a photo session for work, and I decided to make it a little bit longer for like a solo vacation. So I'll be staying at an Airbnb for like 3 or 4 days, and so I'm going to bring a bunch of books and cozy up. I'm probably not really going to go anywhere. It's probably just going to be like chilling in an Airbnb by myself reading. And I'm so excited. So basically the books I'm going to be picking today are going to be a reflection of like the books I want to be reading in a snowed in cabin Airbnb vibe. You know what I'm saying? So we're nearing the end of this jar. There really aren't a whole lot of prompts left. So all the prompts that I've used already since starting this journey, which was back in June, will be recycled back into this when it's completed. I'm really excited. Let's go ahead and pick our first prompt. Prompt number 1. I'm so excited. I haven't done this on camera in a while for you guys. Book set near water. If you're new to this channel, I love atmospheric books that are set near oceans, waters, islands, remote coasts, dark, gloomy, stormy, everything. And I have the perfect book for that. Oh my gosh, I probably have so many options, but the 2 newest ones in my life that I'm really looking forward to reading. First one is Lacrimore by SJ Costello. This is a book that I actually started as an audiobook, and as I was listening to it, I was like, no, I need a physical version of this book because it is so beautifully written. It's so bizarre and weird and cool. So I did order myself a brand new copy. This is a 2020 release, kind of similar to like The Swallowed Man, I feel like, where it's a 2020 release, very thin, very tiny. Not a lot of people have heard of this book, and it is so, so cool. So let me read you the back. Sivre Sen is a spiritual medium who's lost her faith. Though it's been years since the epidemic that swept the mainland and changed her life, she has yet to find the answers or closure that she's looking for. When she's summoned to conduct the funeral rites for a reclusive scholar, the unusual circumstances give her hope that maybe, finally, she'll find the answers she needs. Far from the mainland, on a small island in the middle of a lake, stands Lacrimore, centuries old and wreathed in grim legends. So this is like super gothic, like magical realism on this lake in Lacrimore. Like, look at how gorgeous this is. Very gothic vibes, very creaky old house, quirky characters. I knew that like as soon as I started this audiobook, I needed to read it visually and to annotate it, and like this is just such a beautiful texture and cover and everything. So hopefully I will really love this. I loved the audiobook already. Like, the gothic atmosphere was 100% amazing. So this is definitely what I'm going to be adding to my December TBR pile, but I just wanted to let you all know too that I did get a copy of Moby Dick, which I want to read so bad. But I am currently reading Middlemarch, which is another huge, huge book. That's my goal, is to finish Middlemarch before I start into like another massive classic. So I want to read this so bad, friends. I want to read this so bad. You all kind of like hyped this up in my last video in the comment section, and now I'm like really excited, and I just love this copy. It's the 150th anniversary edition, and I'm really excited. But I think Lacrimore is like I'm just so excited. I've been waiting for this to come in the mail too, so like it came in like yesterday, so I'm gonna go ahead and add this to my TBR pile, and I'm just really, really excited. Okay, I'm gushing. Prompt number 2. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this, friends. I love it. Okay, Woo! Illustrated cover! Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Okay, I have so many illustrated covers, friends. This is amazing. All right, it's gonna take me a second to gather them. Let's quickly go over them and see all the different options for illustrated covers, but then I can also pick from that once I visually see everything. That'll be fun, right? Like a little scavenger hunt. I would love to hear all of your thoughts if you like it when I pull all of my options out and then go over what I'm interested in reading, or do you want me to just like cut to the chase and tell you? Let me know down below. I just get so geeked out and like overexcited about these videos. I love looking at all the books and being able to touch all of them. Oh my gosh, I have so many, oh gosh, I'm freaking out. Okay, I have so many awesome options. Okay, this is gonna take me a second, but I'm overwhelmed. Okay, hang on. Uh-oh, friends. Upon realization, mass majority of my books are illustrated covers, and I want to read every single one of them, specifically this winter season. I don't know how I'm going to pick what the frick I want to read. But just to start, I do have these books here. We have The Phantom of the Opera, I want to read so bad. We have Piranisi by Susanna Clarke, Hollow by B. Catling, The Guest Cat by Takashi Harari, Bride's Head Revisited by Evelyn Waugh. All of these I want to read, but then I also have so many more on here, like Galatea 2.2, Supper Club by Laura Williams. Look at me lifting up this deer. Excuse me. Sin Eater by Megan Campisi. We have Wuthering Heights, The Waves. Yikes! I think I'm gonna hold off on picking a book for this particular prompt until I see the rest of the prompts, because I have so many and who knows what might come up later. So I'm gonna put these aside for right now, and then we will come back to them and see what the rest of this TBR pile looks like. Okay? Oh my gosh, and even like basically all of my classics right here all have illustrated covers too. That's a very vague prompt, August. Why did I make that? Okay, so let's just go ahead and go on to prompt number 3. Also, apologies for the lighting in here. It is so dark everywhere because of daylight savings. I also decided not to put on any makeup today, so if this lighting is not doing me any favors, now you know why. Prompt number 3. It's the letter O. Do I have any? Okay, let's see here. So for a letter prompt like this, it's basically the first letter of the title of the book, and I do have a few. I have One Day by David Nichols and Olive Kitteridge by Elizabeth Strout. I'm personally not really feeling super pulled to that, so I am wondering, you know, this is my game, right? Like I made this TBR game. I'm gonna say that The Phantom of the Opera works for this by Gaston Leroux. I'm just gonna say it works because I want to read this really hella bad, and I'm gonna be cozy in an Airbnb, and I want to read classics, and I want to read this so bad. I'm so excited for it. I think I'm gonna do it. I am all about, in this season of my life right now, like making things work for me instead of me having to work really hard to meet other things. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and move on to prompt number 4. Another letter prompt. We have M. That's a good letter. I like that letter. We have Moby Dick, My Dark Vanessa, Michelangelo and the Pope's Ceiling, Madame Bovary, freaking love this cover, Mrs. Dalloway, Virginia Woolf. This one's actually a pretty big contender. So unfortunately my work season is still gonna be intense in December. I'm expecting January for things to really peter out and slow down for me. So I'm still wanting slimmer books. I want small because I'm still reading Middlemarch. Still really want to get that done before the end of the year, which is an M, but that's gonna naturally kind of go over. Oh, I don't know. You know what? Yeah, for my sanity, we're gonna have M as Middlemarch. There it is. This is my copy of Middlemarch. I am currently almost halfway through. I am currently on page 330, so that is just gonna go right there, friends. I'm sorry. It has to. I want to get this done so bad. I'm really enjoying it. It's just long and laborious and slow and difficult to read, but it's so enjoyable and really funny. So I just really want to finish it this year. 2021, I read friggin' Middlemarch. That is the goal. That is my slogan of the year. I'm on a lot of energy right now. Okay, prompt number 5. Ooh, a memoir. I have not read a memoir in so long, friends. So before I started BookTube, I would read fiction, nonfiction, fiction, nonfiction. I loved that so much. But when I started BookTube, I realized I was kind of like not super enjoying nonfiction as much. I love memoirs, but I realized I love listening to memoirs so much more than reading them. They're just not my favorites to read anymore. But listening to it, especially if the author is narrating it, like you just get to hear their life story. Love that. Like David Sedaris is my favorite. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on her name? Crossley. What's her first name? Crossley. Oh no, I want to eat cake. Sloane Crosley. Love Sloane Crosley's works as well. What on here is a memoir that I have? Yikes. Okay, so the two memoirs I have. One is I and Claudius by Claire DeVries. This is all about this woman, Claire, who takes her cat on a road trip with her across the US before her cat dies. I am not emotionally ready for this. I don't think I ever will be. Sounds like it'll be funny and fun. This is the portrait on the back, by the way. Like, this is her author photo. Freaking love. I'm not emotionally okay for this. I really can't. So that's a no. Just because I have cats, bitch, I can't handle that. But the other one I have, I think this is definitely the one I'm leaning towards. This is My Sister Marilyn, a memoir of Marilyn Monroe by her sister Mona Ray Miracle, which is crazy because I know nothing about Marilyn Monroe. Never really went through a phase where I was obsessed with her or any celebrity really, but I find it so fascinating because of the dysfunctional family dynamics I had. So I do feel like this would be super fascinating, interesting. Also, the format of this book is really enjoyable to me. It's like a perfect square. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this one just to learn more context of Marilyn Monroe as a person instead of a celebrity icon. Voila, my stack. This is feeling very cluttered, chaotic energy today. I like to try to be like, you know, put together, but I feel a little chaotic today. I woke up and chose chaos. Prompt number 6. Oh, another small guy. I have a feeling this is gonna be another freaking letter. It is, it's N. Why are all the letters like clumped together? We had M, N, O. What is happening? Okay, N. Oh shit. Friends, JK. I totally just realized I did have a book that starts with O, which is The One Memory of Flora Banks by Emily Barr. I talked about this one in my book haul video, which I'll link down below. But this is one that I said I specifically wanted to read around the holiday time because it might be a little cheesy, a little hokey, a little YA, but it takes place in the Arctic and Norway, and it follows memory loss and teenage romance and stuff, and like, this would be perfect for me to bring to an Airbnb and just absolutely fly through and have so much fun with. And this is still an option for my illustrated cover. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this back right here. And I'm gonna bring this most likely to my vacation. So I'm gonna stay true to the prompt and pick an actual O book. I totally forgot about this one because it's all the way up there. I'm a goof. Let's go ahead and add this one. I'm so excited for like a very like plot-driven, cozy, snowy Arctic. I hope it's fun. That's all I want sometimes, you know? Sometimes you just want like fun, crazy, wild things to happen, and I'm totally down with that, especially on vacation. Like, you just want something you're gonna fly through, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so we need to still find N. Wow, okay, I don't have any N's. So let's just go ahead and pick another prompt. Ooh, okay. White cover. Oh my gosh, how fun. Ooh, okay, I know exactly what I'm gonna pick for this one. I do have a few, mainly they're all in this like S section right here, but the one I'm gonna pick, which is just all white, is Snow Country by Yasunari Kawabata. So this is a beautiful all white cover, thrifted copy. It is so stunning. How wonderful to read this when it's snowing outside. It's actually December. So this one is the story of a geisha, and honestly I don't know much more than that, other than I don't know if it's like a journey, if they're traveling around Japan and Tokyo and stuff, but yeah, I think that there is a romance. She's a geisha. That's all I know. I think this would be so beautiful to read in the wintertime when it's snowing in December. My copy is translated from the Japanese by Edward G. Seidensticker. That's a cool name. This was originally published in 1957, so I'm very excited to add this one to my pile. Prompt number 7. Ooh, okay. Random genre generator. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me grab my laptop. We're gonna pull up a wheel that has a bunch of random genres on it, and then I get to pick what book to read from that genre. Okay, so I have my wheel here. I have a bunch of different genres, and I'm gonna go ahead and click to spin. It landed on poetry. So it landed on poetry. Currently I only have 3 books of poetry, and they're all just like staples in the poetry community because I'm very new to the poetry genre. I love reading it. I haven't found like a favorite, you know. I'm not obsessed with poetry. First is the complete poetry of Edgar Allan Poe. This is kind of cute, smaller. Would love to read some Poe in my life. Then we have the collected poems of Emily Dickinson. I've always wanted to read Emily Dickinson. Obviously this is much bigger, but I've just been really wanting to read her work. I still have not read a whole lot of her work, so reading all of the poetry together would be kind of cool. And then lastly, I have the collected poems of Sylvia Plath. This is a big, I mean, both of these are quite large. This is tall and big and thick. Ooh, I just opened one called Waking in Winter. Can I read it to you? I can taste the tin of the sky, the real tin thing. Winter dawn is the color of metal. The trees stiffen into place like burnt nerves. All night I have dreamed of destruction, annihilations, an assembly line of cutthroats, and you and I, inching off in the gray Chevrolet, drinking the green poison of stilled lawns, the little clapboard gravestones, noiseless on rubber wheels, on the way to the sea resort. Ooh, I don't know. What am I feeling? Okay, I don't know. This might be something that I pick again at the end of this video because I'm just honestly not sure what the rest of the stack looks like. So I'm being very picky right now, but I want to pick the right book, you know? So I'm going to go ahead and leave these right here, just getting more and more cluttered. Surrounded by literature though, so it's the best kind of clutter. So I'm going to wait until the end to pick my book of poetry. Okay, what are we on, like prompt number 8? Yeah, prompt number 8. Oh my god, another letter, S. I thought I always had like a lot of letters in my like TBR jar challenges, but this is a lot. They must all accumulate at the bottom, but I have a lot of S books. So we have, oh my goodness, we have so many. So the 2 I am most interested in, Supper Club by Laura Williams and Sin Eater by Megan Campisi. Both of these have to deal with food and eating, but like either one would be great. This is definitely much more like historical fantasy, and then this one definitely sounds more like literary fiction. So in this one, it's this group of women who decide to take back their bodies and life and enjoyment and taking up space. So they create this thing called the Supper Club where they absolutely gorge on food and enjoy the luxuries of life. It sounds so good, so good. So excited for this one. And then also Sin Eater, which is much more historical fantasy. It takes place in London, I believe in the 1600s, in the 16th century. I don't know what kind of vibe I'm in. They're both food. This is a dark and thrilling page turner. And then this one, a visceral and dangerous celebration of feminine appetite and agency. Dark, vivid, and infinitely compelling. They're both dark and compelling. I don't really have any fantasy on here so far. So, well, other than Lacrimore. Lacrimore has like magical, I'm more into like magical realism than like straight up fantasy. This might be a little bit more fantasy, but it just sounds so cool. Maybe it is more magical realism because it is just kind of all about like 16th century, maybe an alternate reality where belief systems are just a little bit different. I don't think there would be any magical elements in here, but I'm not sure. I'm kind of leaning towards this one. I feel like it'd be very different and new and exciting and hopefully an actual page turner as it says on the front. So let's go ahead and do Sin Eater. I'm so excited. Either way, I really want to read both of these at the same time, but you gotta pick one. So I'm gonna do this one. Prompt number 9. Ooh, children's lit. Children's lit. I love children's lit so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, I know what I'm gonna pick. The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. How like December-y is this? Like reading this around the holidays. Look at this beautiful bunny. This follows a stuffed China rabbit. Look. Oh, and he gets lost and he's all about trying to find his family. He's owned by a girl named Abilene, which I love that name. So I'm gonna add this. This sounds so cozy. Last prompt before we have to circle back and pick poetry and all that fun stuff. Last prompt of December, your most recent purchase. Oh, my most recent purchase was in fact Moby Dick, but that's not happening. I'm sorry, it's not. So the book before that though that I did get was Piranisi by Susanna Clarke. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to read this since I first saw the cover come up. It follows this person named Piranisi who's in this like massive building, and it's just filled with corridors and halls, and they're basically just like in it. People said it's like really hard to explain, and I just love that. I want like surreal, kooky, speculative stuff, and it has like journal entries in here. I'm just so excited. This is like the perfect December book. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my gosh, yay! Okay, now that we have picked all of these things, I think I feel pretty comfortable in picking some more classic literature and just seeing how much I can read. Again, I know I've said this before, I have never been able to read all 10 books in a month. Specifically this past year. It has been my busiest year ever in terms of work, and I just have never been able to get through them, so I have to be very selective of what I end up reading. So if I get to them, I get to them. If I don't, I sadly don't. Typically I do really want to read them still, but I just can't make time for them. So I actually feel pretty comfortable in adding both Phantom of the Opera and Edgar Allan Poe. Both tiny, beautiful, dainty little copies. Like, look how small. They're so cute. I love that sound too. Oh, and just adding them to the pile. Look at that color scheme. There we have it, my dear friends. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love to hear what your plans are for reading in the month of December. If you followed along with this TBR jar game, I know a lot of you have. I'm sorry it was so chaotic figuring out what actual prompts worked, but I hope you ended up finding some really wonderful books that worked for you. Thank you all again so much. I hope you are all doing so well, and I will see you all again very soon for my next video. Stay cozy, my friends. Bye!